although the resignation of the two principal officers of the APC have been announced by the party, there has been no word from either of them confirming this, and their letters of resignation have not been made public. So the question is, have the duo resigned or they have been forced to resign? For insight on these, we are joined by Duru, who is APC's Deputy National Organizing Secretary, and Issa-Onilu, former APC National Publicity Secretary. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on Newsnight. Let's start with Issa-Onilu. We've heard the announcement of the resignation of the national chairman of the party, and of course the secretary, the national secretary, but we've not heard from them. Have they resigned in fact?
Well, thank you so very much. I don't see where the doubt will be coming from. You have the NWC meeting today, and you had every member of NWC, save the two people you have mentioned, at the meeting. And they came out clearly to report to the nation what the situation is. So there's no doubt about the fact that the two of them have resigned, and they did it voluntarily, apparently.
All right, they did it voluntarily, but it doesn't seem exactly so. But let's bring in Chidi. I mean, from your point of view, I mean, Nigerians are asking, how do you rely on a party that seems not able to handle its victory at the polls? It seems everything came unglued right after the the victory of the APC was announced. What exactly is playing out? Is it just the fact that Adamu Abdullahi did not support the candidacy of Tinubu before he won the election? Or are there other factors responsible for this seeming push out of Adamu Abdullahi?
Well, thank you very much. I would like to say first and foremost, and Lanre is quite correct, the resignation of the national chairman and the national secretary of the party was voluntary and is not in doubt. There is appropriate communication from the two chieftains of the party concerned, and a proper letter was transmitted, and the chairman did send his goodwill message to the NWC at our meeting, and the national secretary also did the same. I would like to say again that there is no conflict, there are no dissent within APC. The national chairman, in fairness to him, and we must be fair, have also made a statement, and that is also the position of members of the NWC. He led the party to victory. The party campaigned on the ticket of our candidate, and it resonated with Nigerians, and Nigerians voted for APC. And as is always the case within a political party, it may happen that there are always a competing tendency in the party. And of course, when the national chairman, in the general interest of the party, did recognize and found that it is in his best interest and in the best interest of the party that his job is done, his work is done, and that he needs to take a walk, he did the ultimate sacrifice for the party. And I believe that the party needs to be commended for that, that the transition from that resignation to date has been very seamless, and that had been provided in the constitution of the party. As you could see, immediately that broke, a meeting was immediately convened in the meeting room of the party, and the incoming acting chairman presided over the meeting and the affairs of the party and made a proper pronouncement that going forward he has assumed the leadership of the party, and then the national secretary, the responsibility fell on the shoulder of another able member of APC, National Working Committee, Festus Founder. And you can see that the members of the NWC, the party rose from that meeting in unity and then addressed the press conference. So I would like to say straight away that there is no disunity within the party and the rank and file of the party.
Then we've heard your position, Chidi. Let's come back to Larry. If in fact these gentlemen have resigned, where is the evidence of the resignation. Whom did they address their letter of resignation to?
Well, as you know, there is an appropriate authority that should receive such letters. And it's that same authority that announced the fact that the letters have been received and communicated to the party and also to Nigerians that the situation as it were in APC is that we have an acting chairman, Abubakar Kyari, who is now taking charge. I mean, he's in the saddle.
The question is not, if I may butt in, the question is not whether the APC has an interim chairman or, acting chairman now. The question on the lips of many Nigerians is, if indeed Adamu Abdullahi resigned, that he should have written a letter and somebody should have received it. All we've been told is that the governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, collected some document or letter from the national chairman, the outgone one, Adamu Abdullahi, and handed over to President Bola Tinubu. Is that the usual, procedure?
Well, if you paid attention to what Chidi just said,
right?
He didn't mention Governor Hope Uzodinma. Neither did he mention President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The party is the appropriate authority to receive such letters. And the party has come out to say we are in possession of the letters. And the two
Why
gentlemen...
is the party reluctant to make the letter public?
It's not,
to convince Nigerians that Adamu Abdullahi actually resigned.
Are the two people out now to say they have not resigned?
Are they out now to say that they have resigned? That's the question. The question is not... hold on, Larry. The question is not have they come out to say they've not resigned. The question is, why haven't they come out to say that they have resigned?
Haven't you their contacts to reach out to them and ask these questions?
You are here to answer the questions
on their behalf.
Actually, no, we are not. We're not to answer the questions. That's why we.
The reality staring us in the face is that we should be commending APC for having this smooth transition. Nobody has come out to say a gun was pointed at my head to write a letter. So apparently, what we have now is the appropriate thing has been done. A letter has been communicated to the party from the gentlemen. They have written their letters. They've submitted. The party has acknowledged, the letters, and have come out to say, as per our constitution, the next thing to do is for an acting chairman to take charge, and our constitution states that the deputy national chairman from the region of the chairman, which is the north, would take charge. And that has happened. So we should be commending the party for this smooth transition. If you're looking for a crisis, there is no crisis here.
Well, nobody is looking for a crisis. Nigerians actually want everything to go smoothly, just like you said. But if you look back at the history, bringing it to Chidi Duru, the history of the APC, and as a matter of fact, other parties, whether it's the opposition, PDP, and even the Labour Party, all these parties have had leadership crisis within the NWC or NEC, if you like. Is it a question of, does it reflect on our politics, our level of democracy? Is that what's playing out? And why, in the case of the APC, for example, you had Boni Haruna, who did not really live, in a nice manner. Then you had Adams or Shomole, of course.
He was kicked out.
He was kicked out. And now, Adamu Abdullahi. It raises questions in the minds of Nigerians, shouldn't it?
Well, I do hear you, and I also agree with you that our democracy is still at its infancy. Yes, we have done on slightly shy of 25 years or thereabouts, but the reality is that as we face these challenges, progress is being made, we learn from it, we correct it. APC have had its own fair share, no doubt about it, but the truth of the matter still remains is that in recognizing some of the challenges that have dogged the path of the party, at the last constitutional conference, at the last constitutional amendment of the party constitution, an effort was made in such a way that should we be faced with such leadership position, in the sense that the national chairman of the party, for some reason, steps down or is asked to resign or for any other reason, the provision, ample provision have been made in their party constitution to enable a seamless transition.
The problem,
the national chairman of the party, for very good reasons, tendered his resignation, and ample provision was made in our constitution to enable the deputy national chairman, which is a deputy national chairman, from the zone where the national chairman came from, to transit into the office and then midwife the process of leading the party towards holding a mini congress. I do not see that as a crisis. I do not see that as one-off, and I do not think it is different from what has happened in other political parties. We'll continue to learn from that process, and then we'll take some corrective measures as we continue to mature in our democratic process and in the management of the party politics of our political party.
Have any challenge with looking for crisis? Nobody here is looking for crisis. We just want to set the record straight, because it's beginning to look like the events were shrouded in secrecy, and then looking at the antecedents of the resignations of former chairman of APC. That's why we need clarity. And Larry, that also raises the question of if indeed they've actually resigned and they are not speaking to the public, does it look like, does it bother you that your party may not be able to manage its internal politics?
I thought, to the contrary, that's what has just happened, demonstrated how well we are able to manage our internal crisis. And we have demonstrated democracy. The two of them not coming out to speak doesn't mean they will never speak. And it is just an administrative procedure for them to turn in their letters, which they did. The party has acknowledged it. And I think that is official. And as of today, you don't have a faction somewhere, having a press conference, proclaiming some other views that are different from what we are talking about. So there's a consensus about this. The fact that the two of them acknowledged the need for them to step aside, and they did quietly. And in fact, we should be commending them for, making everything smooth for the party.
Okay, let's bring in Chidi Duru before we let both of you go. I mean, how much of an unnecessary distraction really is this for President Tinubu, who always said he wants to hit the ground running? Well, he's the national leader of the party. He was once referred to as that. What role is he playing right now?
I would like to say, just to add a little bit to what Landry did say, there is a communication. The national chairman of the party, in addition to forwarding his letter of resignation, did speak to members of the NWC to extend his very good wishes and support to the leadership of the incoming administration of Senator Abukari. And he wished members of the NWC well, and same thing was also extended by the National Secretary. And I want to believe that at the appointed time, both chieftains of the party will speak to the public to, again, identify with the leadership of Abukari. The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is also the member of the APC, did make the comment that he will hit the ground running. And we believe he's hit the ground running with learning in the process. And we do not think that what is happening currently in the party is any distraction whatsoever. If anything else, is meant and geared to complement the work and the efficacy of the government of His Excellency Senator Ahmed Bola Tinubu to continue to lead this country, and then have a political party that would envision the vision of the party to support his administration, to point in areas where we think that this administration should be looking at. Because at the end of the day, what we are in government to do is to work in such a way to listen to Nigerians and then to deliver the dividends of democracy to the people of this country. And that is the job of the political party. The party is being revamped to provide that leadership role and to give that guidance to the executive arm of government, which is a product of the political party.
Look, before I let you go, very quickly, what really is the future of, the APC with the inconsistencies in leadership?
Well, I do not see resignations of both the chairman and the secretary as inconsistency. It's part of democracy, and the future, not just of APC, but of Nigeria, is very bright. As we have seen in the last 50 days, less than 50 days since the president came on board, we've all acknowledged it. The international community has acknowledged it. Nigerians can see it. The leadership is being provided, and there's a clear direction as to where this country is headed. And I'm sure every objective Nigerian would acknowledge the fact that the future is very bright. And just as Chidi said, getting the party ready for that purpose is also very important. And that is part of the process.
Chidi, let's wrap up with you. Thank you, gentlemen, but let's wrap up with you. A couple of days ago, the president passed a vote of no confidence on the now SY national chairman. Is that part of what's now playing out?
I would not say I'm not aware of that. What I would like to say is that the national chairman of the party and the national secretary did tender their resignation voluntarily. Engagement of the various organs of the party and the caucuses of the party were triggered in the last 2 days when it became very obvious that this would happen. Meetings were held, chieftains of the party engaged, and of course, the members of the NWC were pulled into that conversation. At the end of the day, we arrived at a decision that was in the best interest of the two chieftains in question and for the political party. The letter of resignation was tendered, was accepted, and a meeting was convened today where it was now made public that these two gentlemen have tendered their resignation. And the party have now began to regig itself and begin to take very far-reaching decisions that would not only be in the interest of the political parties and members of the party, but more importantly, will be in the best interest of Nigeria as a country. The essence of party politics, like I've said before, and Larry had made that point previously, is to work with the executive arm of government in a manner that is not disruptive, that does not distract from the essence of governance, so that we can provide the dividends of democracy for the people of Nigeria. And that is the support the political party, our party, will give to the government of His Excellency Ahmed
Larry, in 30 seconds.
Yeah. Larry even denied, Larry even says, he whispered just that there was no such thing. He even denied it.
That the president party vote of no confidence on the national... He has not said that also. He has not said that.
Will Adamu Abdullahi be prosecuted since there's alleged misappropriation of funds? Is that in the pipeline? Issa-Onilu, if you can answer that in 30
well, I'm not in a position to speak to that. I'm not aware of such allegation.
All right,
and if they were, the appropriate authorities would know what to do.
Larry Issa-Onilu, former APC National Publicity Secretary, and of course Chidi Duru, APC Deputy National Organizing Secretary. Thank you both of you for joining us.
Time now.